quick. Look, everything thugs, from my birds to my rugs, and my homies flipping birds. IRL trying to cop, cause the IRL birds attract IRL cops. And you can't be making money if you IRL lock. IRL drug money, hitting up the market. If you knew how rich these motherfuckers were, you wouldn't list for profit. Let me tell you what go down in trap houses where the fiends knocking at your door, cause you a coke fountain. My boy did a grand every hour on the hour. Now we thugging with a thug bird, said he trying to stop the powder. Told him get up on this internet money, buddy, forget the chowder. Now we copping thug birds and he on the next chapter, yeah.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now live and direct. What's going on? What's going on? We're now live here with New Bat City. First off, thank you for coming in here, tuning in.
Hello.
Showing some love.
Welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of the first thing we go about on and asking some of our previous guests. One, what got you kind of interested, started into the crypto space in general, and then what got you wanting to start in the NFT community with Bad Underground?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You know, let me just tweet all these things out.
Yeah, you get it. Put you on the spot on that one.
while I can't multitask anymore, you guys. I get no sleep these days, so like. I'm like, my girlfriend is like always like being like, dude, like you don't even listen to me, like you're so distracted all the time, like.
Oh, you're getting
I'm just
that
there,
one.
you know.
I'm
People,
hustling, baby.
haven't-
I'm trying to get this money.
Getting that cash money.
I mean, it's somewhat about trying to get this money. I mean, obviously, a lot of us are in this for like, economic gain of sorts, right? But I think also a lot of us came to Solana and found like this incredible ecosystem and community of people that are just some of the most wholesome, unbelievably nice people you'll ever meet. Like I don't know, I've never experienced, I've been in crypto. I was in it in 2017 and I got destroyed. Absolutely. I made some money and then I got absolutely wrecked. And then I was out of it for a while and I got back into it and yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been really heavily into it since like December, almost a year now. And like, I've found some cool communities and stuff, but really nothing has come close to like the level of love that Solana NFT people are all about. And like, things have been really rough the past couple of weeks for sure, for a lot of people, and especially with all these crazy marketplace things going down and, there's corrections and yada, yada, yada. But just generally, it's been, some of the most engaging, wonderful people to talk to. And so that's why, I wanted to start up a project. And of course, originally, I guess I'll go through the slight backstory, but let me tweet this real quick.
Yeah, you're good. Yep. And if you tweet that, I'll try and do some little plug in for you. If you're just now tuning in and on our, feed on there, who are talking to New Bat City, and is at New Bat City on Twitter. So I'm gonna read out what it has on the beginning of it on your kind of, I guess, tweet. Welcome to the Bat City Underground. 10% to charity, NFT investment DAO. TV show launching soon on Solana.
Yeah.
And newbatcity.com. Sorry, excuse me. Reverse. Newbat.city is the website.
City. Exactly.
I like
Yeah,
that.
so we have some branding, that we're still figuring out. I work in branded content, so like, we wanted kind of two, we wanted like a cool name that's Bat City Underground, right? Which my co-creator came up with, and we also wanted something that was kind of like fun because we used to live in New York, so we were like, all right, New Bat City, like New Jack City or New York City.
Okay. is that what it comes for? I'm in the States, but is that a New York thing, or am I not hip anymore? Is that like a New York thing?
You get no.
I mean, I'm not hip anymore. I don't know.
Son of a bitch. All right. That's what's up. I like it. It is New Bat City.
Yeah. All right. Let me ping my people, everyone. Live.
Get me out, everybody going.
Get it.
I mean, we do have a fair amount of Thugbirds in there, which I'm super grateful for, because if you want to build a good community on Solana, I feel like you got to look to the strongest communities.
Yeah, 100%.
Not poaching, but rather, trying to bring them in a very, positive way, basically.
Yeah.
100%. I think that's something that I think just about every project on here said about like the Solana community in general is it truly is. It's wholesome. They're nice. Like it's almost we were talking about last episode. Basically, it's like it's too nice. Like wait, do people really want to help? Like I think that's a big difference. Maybe not a big difference. I'm not.
Yeah, they were saying they were coming over from ETH, and they were like, it was the complete opposite. It was like people didn't want to help. Everyone was so like snobby, and then they came over and tried to get some dev side help on Solana, and everyone was just like, "Here you go. Here's all this like plethora of information and resources."
Absolutely. Here's everything.
And they were like, they were kind of like blown away, and was like, "Yo, is this a scam? What's going on here? This is crazy."
Nah, for sure.
No, man, it's I think it's like I said before. I think it's because Solana's users aren't really like FU rich yet, like a lot of Ethereum's users are and devs are. So like you got a little more of the common person here, every day going to work, kind of, down to earth person. So I think that's why the communities are so organic and they just grow the way they do.
Absolutely. Yeah, let me do this last tweet. And cool, now I can actually focus. Oh my God. Okay, so I I was trading. I come from trading, and I mostly did swing trading after I learned that leverage just is how the exchanges make money. So I definitely found BitBoy and like whoever, and definitely got some liquidations in there. But I started swing trading, and I really what I ended up doing is I found this from TikTok, actually, this like kind of education-based DAO called Bacon DAO, which was, it was an interesting thing. They've lost a little bit of steam because they moved to a paid model. Before it was like all free, just awesome like info, people doing TA and stuff like that. So I like sharpened my skills there. I learned how to swing trade, and I wanted to get into NFTs in like February or whatever, when things like really blew up on Ethereum, right? And so my partner and I, who I've worked with for a long time, he and I had been pitching this TV show called Bat Crazy, which was, he recently had a kid, so he was like, I want to make this kind of like cool. We were pitching it actually before the pandemic, and for a while, bats had a very, very negative image in the media. So we were pitching it, and it was like a kid's show. It was much, but it was still the same premise of like a rock band struggling, and like having adventures in a cave underneath Central Park, New York City, basically. So basically, we looked into Ethereum, and we were like, oh, it'd be really cool to do an NFT set, because I'm very interested in off-chain utility for NFTs, right? I think that, people are looking at NFTs. We're so early in the NFT, space, let alone the utility of NFTs, right? So I think a lot of people look at them and like, they're like, oh, like, they think only digitally. They're like, oh, it could be a video game, like there's got to be some way, because they're digital, it's got to be a video game, right? So, but I think what happened was, and really this I think came about because of Bored Ape Yacht Club, is Bored Ape Yacht Club kind of moved NFTs into the brand space, right?
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
I work in branded content. I work for Discovery. I do car like commercial kind of things, and so it took me a while to really kind of realize this, right? But like Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're like doing clothing with the hundreds. They're like doing shoes with whatever that shoe thing is. They really managed to nail it in a very special way. And obviously there's a layer of like digital ownership and stuff to it, but they're really taking the brand aspect of the Bored Ape Yacht Club into the real world, right? So I came to Solana in like April, right? And I minted a friggin', Solarian for 3 Sol, 2 of them actually. I just sent it to a wallet, right? I was like, oh God, I hope I'm not getting, scammed. That was before they even had images for them.
Man.
What a story.
I miss those days, man. I miss those days. Those were the money making days, bro.
Yeah, no, that was really good. And like
those were so good. And like everyone was like so hectic and stuff. Oh my God, those were
Oh man, and then there was that little shitcoin season. I was saying like to like Cam or someone that there was like Samo and like Solana, Akita, and like all those Doge ones or whatever. But yeah, like I was doing research into a lot of chains for this like education DAO, and I looked at like Cosmos and Avalanche and Luna and Near and like a bunch of other ones, and I just sort of realized that like Solana, number one, had the most VC money in it, right? It had the most adoption already, even in April when there wasn't a lot of adoption of it, right? And it had very good design. And I think that those things for me were like, I was like, man, like I like this color scheme. Even the logo is nice. Like all the UI is pretty solid. And I really think about that a lot as like a creative director, right?
It's huge.
Avalanche is cool and all, but the design is awful.
100%. I totally agree.
So yeah, so like I didn't really think too much about the NFT aspect of everything. Otherwise, I would have been, I would have been there in the beginning of, DGen Apes and the Monkeys. I wouldn't have had to come in later, which thankfully I came in early, but not that early, right?
Right.
So yeah, so like the summer, May, the crash happened, and like I didn't really think too much of everything, and like I was just trying to keep some money, and et cetera. And then basically like, the Solana NFT season started, and in this other DAO that I was in, they started posting about Solana NFTs, and I was like, oh shit, like I love Solana, and like, I have a like not a massive bag, but I have a good amount. So I was like, okay, like maybe I can like see what's up here. And like I missed on a couple things. Like Jemmy from the Monkeys, like he tried to like trade me a monkey at one point, and I said no, like in mid-August.
Wow.
Like I would have had basically a free monkey.
Yeah.
So like, I came in like late August, end of August, and I, just started getting involved, right? And like I remember that run was just so crazy, those 2 weeks, right before the Thugbirds launch, and like I made way too much money really quick, right? I sold like my Solarians, and then I sold like some of these like soul animals or whatever, and like I was like, holy shit, like there's really something going on here. And so then I like got into Bold Badgers, and I like actually made money on Bold Badgers, which a lot of people didn't.
Wow.
Through like trading the frenzy of that.
Yeah.
And I realized that like NFTs have similar price action to like those IDOs that were happening, right?
100%.
Where people are just panic mashing buttons, like, oh my god, I need to get this thing. So I really kind of like I like looking at systems and those kind of things. So I kind of saw these correlations, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can be good at this. Like maybe my trading, like my trading education can play into this, and thankfully it's done very well. So right after
me and you are the same, by the way. I just want to point that
out.
No,
dude,
we're the same. We're the exact same.
Except that I can't have a joint right now. But yeah, no, so like after that, right after the Bold Badgers thing, I think was like when Soul Bears was going down, and that's when me and my partner were like, dude, let's do this. Like we've been thinking about this for a bit. Like we talked about doing it on Ethereum. We were originally going to do like a Thug Jesus actually on Ethereum. Jeez. And of course Lit Jesus came out, right?
Yeah. I
still have a couple really good ones in the back pocket. I'm sure they'll get done eventually or whatever, because everything's been done. But really, it was during the Soul Bears thing, right before Soul Bears, that whole fiasco. And so we were like, all right, we're going to do a 10K supply, 5 soul. We're going to be fucking millionaires. And I'm sorry, can I swear on that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, not a damn problem.
Yeah, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and so obviously I fell in love with the ecosystem, number one, right? And I was like, okay, we don't want to just do some sort of cash grab kind of thing, which is what a lot of people tried to do. They rushed out the art. They like just really caught the wave at the end of September or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they just made a bunch of money, and then they're out, and like they just left the projects dead. And that happened to a few projects that I was in, But thankfully, right, I came to Thugbirds in between the first and second mint, right? And I just could immediately tell, my intuition, I was like, this is, well, number one, it was an incredibly vocal community before the second mint already, right? there were people trading back and forth. They had escrow that Sosa and the other guy were doing, and it was just super healthy. And I was
Shout
like,
out them.
okay, there's not a lot of NFT projects that are number one, like mass appealing like this. Like the fact that Thugbirds leans into the music aspect of it, I think is one of the strongest aspects of Thugbirds, right? Because there's not, you know, all these NFTs, they're like, you know, money themed, right? Like billionaire blank club, you know, like they're like this and that, you know, and
sure.
like they're just trying to like pull off the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing.
They are, yeah.
Which is like, you know, in crypto, what happens is one company or project or whatever innovates crazy, right? And then there's a million people who just try and do the exact same thing, and then that gets oversaturated, and then that falls out, and then there's a new thing, right? So like, you know, with our project, we're definitely in a similar kind of you know, approach where we're leaning into a music aspect of it, not like the rap aspect of it. We're trying to lean into the rock and roll aspect of it, because Charlie's my co-creator, both of us used to be in a punk band in New York City in like the late 2000s and mid to 2010s or whatever the hell it's called. And so a lot of the you know, impetus to make the project comes from our experiences, you know, being on the Lower East Side and yada yada yada. And so yeah, that's sort of where, you know, a lot of aspects of it. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm just so excited to talk to you guys about
you're
this.
Good,
That's
bro.
fine,
You're
dude.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, you answered my question anyways. You're Gucci.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a long-winded answer for sure, but yeah, if you, but yeah, so I don't know. So I to jump back into Thugbirds, right? I think that it's something really special, right? That there's, you know, it's super vocal, right? And it's hands down the most supportive community, I think, that is on Solana, right? Like, I don't want to trash any other community or whatever, right? But I just think the vibes are just so good all the time. And of course there's growing pains, and of course there's bad actors in the space or whatever that'll like scam a Thugbird and stuff like that. But like overall, I just think like the community and the people are just incredible.
Yeah, I gotta
You
agree
know,
with you there.
and it comes like, I know that the Thugbirds DAO is like relatively flat of a structure, right? But the culture comes from the top down, right? The culture comes from Thug. It comes
100%.
from
Thugger's a
mod.
real one. He's the best guy ever, man. I have daily conversations with this guy. He's like, me and him have become pretty good buddies. I love that guy. He's awesome.
Absolutely.
He's
I've
such
had
a
couple
kind-hearted
conversations
person,
with
man.
him. What?
He's just such a kind-hearted person.
No, for sure. And like even the mods, like Sosa and the other guy, I can never
Sosa,
remember.
yeah, shout out Sosa too. Unreal. Yeah,
You
all
know,
great
and-
guys.
Absolutely. And so like the culture of what Thugbirds is about, right? Giving to charity and like doing all these airdrops and collabs and like supporting smaller projects.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
they really, you know, it comes from the top down. And I took that, right, as like, okay, this is the type of project manager I want to be for my project, right? And so you know, you get to look at all these project managers who, you know, they'll do a pump and dump and then they just leave the project, you know?
Yep.
Whereas Thug and the whole community, you know, once Thugbirds minted, really the community took over, like Thug says a lot, you know? And I think that's where, you know, the true power of decentralization, the true power of crypto and NFTs really lies, right?
I'm 100% on that one. What I was trying to see with do y'all have like a launch like time, or maybe not exact time, but like when are expectations for, I guess, the launch? What would this, like, is it cost? Cost? Like what on the new Bad City? I guess.
Let's get into it.
Yes, sir.
So we have a budget, right? And me and my partner were like, all right, let's do this the right way. Let's do it slow. Let's build the right community. Let's prioritize the community. Let's leave as much as we can to the community, right? Decision making. We want to involve them in every aspect of what we're going to do, right? We don't have a launch date set in the slightest, right? There are 2 other projects right now that are bats that are currently trying to front run Halloween. And we are not about that at all, because our project goals are much longer term. So we're not trying to rush anything out. We're not trying to, Also, right now is a terrible time to release a project. I don't know if you guys know.
I've heard a lot of people say that it's just there's a lot of people postponing too, and it's just I get it. You know what I mean? Like when the market is so oversaturated, and you really want to be long-term successful, I understand the importance of having, a positive launch in a positive time.
For sure. And I mean, it's less about, of course you want to time the market or whatever, but you can't, I know from trading, you can't time the market, right?
100%, baby.
So like, we just want to, number one, we want to build the right community. We want to prioritize engagement versus numbers, right? So we want to take our time to really, make sure that we have the right people involved that are really engaging and want to come to our Discord, come to check our tweets out, support us, right? And, we want, we don't want to be going around like there's projects that'll like comment on every post, like, look at this thing that I have, and like,
yeah, for sure.
It just, that's not what we're about, right? What we want to do, I'll get into really the kind of main goals of what we want to do. And then I'll talk about like tokenomics and those kind of things. So the main two goals of our project, right, is we want to make a TV show. Okay. That's like the initial impetus for why we started the project, right? Both my partner and I come from TV. Our other partner, he comes from the music industry. And so, we've had this idea for this project for a while, and, we want to make a TV show that the holders of the NFTs not only own the show, the IP of the show, but also participate in the actual production of the show, right? Cool. So we want to, in some way, completely reinvent the traditional model of the media industry, right? We're staying away from like promising royalties and those kind of things, of course, because
smart on your end. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, but obviously, if we could do something like that legally, we're both based in LA, so we're not about to shoot ourselves in the foot by promising royalties and stuff. But
if you have any questions about that, by the way, we're talking about that actively over the last couple of days in the group chat. Maybe reach out to Thug because he's down to answer DMs probably about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We we have spoken to our lawyer about it, and obviously we're staying away from the word royalty.
Yeah.
But when we make the TV show, if we get it distribution, then we'll have to figure out a way of having the NFT holders own the IP. And there's ways around it already that we've kind of looked into, but we don't want to promise anything because the thing that classifies as security is promising returns for investment. So we're staying away from that. Really, we want people who want to be a part of a TV show, who like TV, love sitcoms, and like animation. Like one of our favorite shows that we're basing a lot of not the design, but rather the theme and those kind of things on is Bojack Horseman. It's a really sardonic kind of show. It's very well done. Cast, great. It's very funny. It's a little depressing, but but it's a great show. And so we're thinking along those lines that we have personified bats. They're not just bats wearing clothes. You know what I mean? They're like people. So that's kind of one aspect of the project that really brought us into everything, right? And so the second aspect of the project came about from something that I've been thinking about from a long time, for over the past year, right? Is this this DAO that I was in, Bacon DAO, that they were in the process of like trying to make an NFT incubator and launchpad. They've kind of stalled with that, right? And so that kind of got me thinking like, oh, it'd be really cool to do some sort of like, NFT based kind of project where you support other NFTs in the ecosystem, right? And there's not really a lot of those, right? So then I found this thing called Party DAO, which is on Ethereum. And the way that Party DAO works is their users pool their funds to trade NFTs. So I was like, okay. So what we'll do is we're going to do a NFT investment DAO, right? Where we'll take 100% of our secondary sale revenue, all of it, and give that to a DAO that then can trade NFTs on Solana. It can sweep floors of other projects if they're struggling or something like that. And really, what I also really want to do, and I think would be, you know, I don't think it would be all that we want to do, but it would be one very cool and I think very, you know, community-driven aspect of it would be to buy projects like Thugbirds where people are who want to be in them but are priced out and be able to gift it to people, right? So my dream is to really be able to bring more people into Thug DAO or Monkey DAO or stuff like that. You know, the blue chips that people really, really want to be a part of and like just can't at this point, you know?
Yeah.
So that for me is one of the main you know, value props or whatever the hell you want to call it about the project. And for me, that would be, you know, even if we don't make the TV show or we make it and we don't get distribution, if we can make a project that really supports the ecosystem like that, then I think we've won, right? Because the ecosystem has done us all so well. Solana has really treated all of us so well, and we all feel it, right? And so I want to give back in some way.
Hell yeah. Have y'all like thought about like the type of charities you want to give to with the 10%, like, or is it just something that like y'all know you want to do something and like you said give back,
Yes.
or is there like certain things that you and I guess the other creator have been thinking of?
No, absolutely. We have a charity, a New England wildlife charity that I, you know, checked with Charity Checker or whatever. But at the same time, I want to pull the community, right? I want to tell the community, hey, help us figure out what we want to do. So to jump back, basically what we started with is we made like a Genesis set, kind of like the monkeys did, of 150 non-generative bats, right? They're four different ones. There's a rock star, a rapper, a punk rocker, and a DJ. There's 15 rock star, there's 30 rappers, there's 45 punk rockers and 60 DJs, right? Okay. So we're using those, we're giving them away, basically. We're doing contests, we're finding partnerships, we're, you know, just using them to build the community because, you know, we want to have some value prop, right? They're going to be tradable. We're still trying to figure out a marketplace at the moment. It seems like there's really only one that's kind of like doing okay lately. So I was like, you know, I like digitalize and stuff, but like things are just like really weird in the space right now. So we're like holding off a little bit on that. But thankfully, people don't seem to be asking like, hey, when can I sell this, right? Because there is a lot of utility to having the Genesis bats, as we're calling them, right? So the Genesis bat will be qualified for Genesis only airdrops once we do the DAO. It'll have a higher DAO governance, not way higher, but a slightly higher DAO governance. And there's other other utility that we're trying to figure out with it.
And how would you get that? Just like I guess being early, like
yes,
is that one of the spots?
So anyone
who in Discord or how would one
absolutely? So we're doing basically daily giveaways, right? We're doing 2 a day at this point. We do one on Twitter and one on our Discord, right? The Twitter ones are generally like, you know, we did a GM competition. We did like a today I did like, you know, I released our like artist time-lapse video, and I was like, whoever can guess the song wins it. And someone of course guessed it super quick. And then, you know, in the Discord ones, we're doing a lot of like kind of, I think the engagement ones are really fun. You know, we did like merch suggestions, growth suggestions were like the first one I think we did. We did, you know, like favorite TV shows, favorite TV show theme songs is what's going on today. So really it's just, you know, we're trying to get people to have fun in our Discord and have fun on our Twitter. And thankfully, you know, I've the first week, man, I got no sleep, and it's just a crazy situation to have my own Twitter, to be on Discord, and also be running this other Twitter. So thankfully, I found a good shit poster who is going to help me, you know, shit post our way to success, basically.
There you go. Who does the artwork for y'all? Was it your buddy, or do you have like a different?
No, yeah, we have a pretty solid team. So it's me and my co-creator who are the main guys. We have our silent partner who he is. I was telling you a little bit about him. He has been helping a little bit with funding, although I'm doing also some funding. We have a developer that I found. We have an art director, a web developer, and our main artist. So the art director brought in our artist. Yeah, we have a fairly large team. But they're mostly behind the scenes. So I'm kind of like the face of everything, which is great because I'm very well, versed in the ecosystem, and I know a few people there. So, it's my pleasure to be doing this, right? I'm in real life, I'm much shyer, but there's something about this anon thing that like really makes it, a lot easier to network.
No, 100%.
So that's the team. The artist, his name is Charles. He's a really good guy. We're so grateful to have him. We actually had a different artist in September, and we ended up having to swap them out because we had aesthetic disagreements. He was going too cartoony, and we kind of wanted to elevate it while still having this cartoon aspect to it, right?
Right.
So
that's another question. I'm say a couple more because one, we made you wait, so we'll go a little bit over our regular 30 minutes as we usually do.
And I talk a lot.
But no, you're good. I mean, bro, that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? We're here to help and just let people know about that. What are some things I guess that your team are I guess hype about that y'all are? I mean, I guess the TV show's huge. You know what I mean? I mean, how many are there? Are there a lot of people in PDOT you might know? I mean, are there a lot of different things on Salon? I don't think there's a lot of people that are doing the shows or things like that.
Ducks are doing a comic book, maybe TV show thing. I don't even mean a TV show. I think it's more just a comic thing. I don't think there's any TV shows, so that's probably
there's been one or two other smaller projects who are trying to do web series and stuff like that.
Right.
But we're really aiming for linear or streamium, which is a industry term for Netflix or Amazon, right? So I work for Discovery Channel. I have contacts at Fox, but our ideal is Netflix or Amazon. And it's a lot easier to get in the room with Netflix or Amazon if you have a finished product, right? If you're just some dude with a script, it's a lot harder to get
an idea.
Okay,
So does everyone else, buddy. So does everyone else. That makes sense, actually.
Exactly. But I mean, hey, Netflix they're really investing in new types of content, right? So one of our strategies, once we get the pilot made is we'll take out an ad and variety about how we used NFTs and decentralization to redefine the media, model. So I'm hoping that, that'll help get us in the room. We do have a couple people who we know at both Netflix and Amazon. It's not impossible to get in the rooms with them in the slightest. I think especially if we frame the story right and we do the right PR, that we'll be able to make it work.
That'd be huge. Imagine Solana stuff on Netflix and everything like that. Be pretty cool.
So a couple quick things, right? Our supply is 4,444. We're aiming for as low a price as possible that will still allow us to achieve our roadmap. Right. We're not trying to do a 10K 3 Sol mint in the slightest.
Yeah.
So the other aspect that actually someone suggested in our community, and this is why I think that decentralizing the production of the show will be crazy awesome, is someone was like, oh, you should have other projects be guests on the show. And they were like, how about Thugbirds? And I was like, oh my God, that'd be awesome if we could do an episode with Thugbirds in it,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think it'd be really cool.
I'm down to be in there, my alien. But of course, all things to I guess think about it. I don't want to give any false hopes, like you said as well. But I think it's interesting.
We want to even do voice actors from the community. I think as much as we can.
I volunteer to do the Thugbird. Just saying. I don't know if anyone else wants to do it. But
you both have good voices.
I'm down. That'd be cool. Man, what I guess what are some of the last couple questions? What were some of the hiccups I've asked some of the other previous guests as well? What are some of the hiccups y'all have had that you didn't know, about in the whole crypto world, or for people that are wanting to do their own, not necessarily comic or a TV show or anything like that, but wanting to start their own NFT in general? What were some hiccups that y'all learned on the way?
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of research, right? I'm just constantly looking stuff up and trying to figure things out. And I really love that kind of stuff. So, figuring out how even to make an NFT set on the design side was an interesting aspect, right? Because there's not a lot of guides that say, okay, you design on this grid, you make PNGs, you layer them all over, et cetera, et cetera. So that was one thing. A big hiccup was having to switch out our artist that definitely set us back a lot, but I'm kind of grateful for it because
Yeah,
the
it
guy that we
happens for a
found, he's
reason.
like really incredible. And if you check our, our like time lapse video of him drawing the beginning of the Genesis 2 one, Gen 2, he the guy's really like on another level, and I'm just super grateful to have him. And then yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it a hiccup, right? But like building the way that we're trying to build is not easy, right? We could easily do invite Ponzi, right? We could
Yeah,
easily do that, you know?
it's too easy to do,
We're
man.
trying to do it. Yeah, that's not what we're trying to do. We're really trying to do it a unique way. We have a
Yeah.
unique value prop. We have a really cool product, and we really want to, number one, have a great community, support, and then also support the Solana ecosystem while also achieving our goals of making a TV show. And I think it's all possible because of Solana.
I'm hoping the best for y'all. I'll be down, even if I'm not in anything like that. That'd be super cool to see something come from that. Because again, it's more utilities where it's at. You know what I mean? Things like that would be super cool to think about. And then that's also because me and Money, we've been talking. We're like we want to have it in like maybe a month, 2 months, something like that. Having like everyone that was been on the episodes today. You know what I mean? On there, so we can see where everything's been going forward. So I'm
Cool.
I'm hoping to be some good things. I know it's still early and everything, but it sounds like the group, the mindset, the people behind it, like y'all got an idea and a vision, and I'm excited for it. Honestly, I think this is be very interesting.
I appreciate it.
100%. I guess for the kind of the last question, or not even question, just any last points that you would honestly wanted to just bring up or bring about on the bats, or anything that maybe that I haven't I guess asked that you really want to be known with the new Bat City, or any last I guess kind of points?
No, I mean, I think we covered a lot of it. I think, we're not doing any kind of like whitelisting or anything like that, but we are going to offer Thugbird's pre-sales if they want to get in, just because, we really want to show our respect. We want to put some respect on the Thugbird name.
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah, I've been talking to Sosa. I'd love to I'd love to eventually, do some sort of partnership. I think, of all the larger communities and larger projects, right? Thugbirds is clearly the most down to help a smaller project, especially if they are ecosystem focused.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many projects that I've talked to that their first response is, "What could you do for me?"
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Of
so
course.
you already sold out your mint. You're trading above your mint. You're fine. I just am asking, like, maybe you guys could shout us out and, etc. But obviously, Thugbirds I just have so much respect for the project, and I think, especially the community too.
Nah, I agree with you on that one as well. Just because on mine with the community part, I mean, I'd say before it ended up, and I was the person that asked. I was like, hey, I just want to, have the opportunity in Thug. You know what I mean? He was like, why not? You know what I mean? Yeah, go for it. Let's ask some people. So the community's strong in Solana. The community is definitely fucking strong. I would say that for sure. I think on that note, then we're gonna go ahead and end it up. Where can people find you at on Twitter if they want to get involved with you, or the Discord? Go ahead and give yourself a plug.
All of our branding, right, to like go to any link is New Bat City. So our website is newbat.city. Our Twitter is twitter.com/newbatcity. And our Discord is discord.gg/newbatcity. So very simple.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming in, tuning in, and showing some love. Everyone in the chat, everyone out there listening in. Again, New Bat City, I call you on this one. New Bat, thanks for taking some time out of your day and honestly stopping by and letting the community know what you got going on as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and thank you guys so much. Yeah,
Hey.
thank you for having this platform.
Hey,
Of course,
not a
man.
problem. Thank you for coming in. And as always, caw.
Caw-caw!
Until next time.